The Heart of Art is sponsored in part by the Texas A&M University Art Galleries, which includes the Stark and Forsyth Galleries located inside the MSC. The galleries provide a variety of opportunities to experience art exhibitions, events, and hands-on activities. More information at uart.tamu.edu. The Heart of Art is brought to you by the Academy for the Visual and Performing Arts at Texas A&M University, bringing innovative and culturally diverse visual and performing arts programming to Texas A&M University and the Brazos Valley. The Academy for the Visual and Performing Arts fosters the creativity of our community via the transformative power of the arts.
The Heart of Art, scoping the Brazos Valley for the best artists and bringing them to your radio. Howdy, Glenn. Welcome back to the KMU Studios. My name is Hector Nino, and you're listening to The Heart of Art. Today in the studios, we have a very special guest. His name is Vick Vortex, and he is the founder of Vortex Studios, which is a co-op and visionary creative agency under which he has a couple businesses such as the Brazos Printing and Design, as well as Vortex Merch, Vortex Art Club, Vortex Rugs, and Vortex Records. So, hi Vic, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm really excited for this conversation because you have a lot of art that you delve into. I'm really excited to have this conversation. I wanted to talk first about your motto, exit the matrix, enter the vortex. What does that really mean?
So that means to break the routine, do something that you normally wouldn't do, so that you can expand, your reality. And we do that by creating. I like to think, we disrupt the routine by creating something.
Right. Yeah, I love that. And we're definitely going to get more into that creating aspect of Vortex. But I want to go into your background first. So it seems like you have a lot of pride in this area. Are you from Bryan? Is this where your love for art grew?
Yes. Born and raised, 33 years.
Okay.
So yeah, I definitely do love this city.
Mm-hmm. And where was your start in art? Were you an artistic child to begin with?
Yeah, I always was. All kids begin as creatives.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And so I was just big time daydreamer, and that just kind of led into art. Just drawing. I mean, just painting. The colors is just different.
Right. So you were a doodler in class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of how it starts for a lot of artists here.
It does.
Yeah. So what kind of work were you doing before Vortex was a thing? What led you to feel the need to create it?
So prior to this, I was working for another embroidery shop in town, Core Image. And I just kind of learned everything. I've been in screen printing and embroidering for close to like 10 years now.
Wow.
And so I just kind of just decided to just use all my resources to be creative. And it's been working out. People really like it. It's fun. And that's the important part. It's fun.
Right, exactly. So you didn't really, you first got like the experience with the embroidery and the printing, and then you decided to pursue it as an artistic expression, right? Would you say?
Well, I always had the artistic expression. It's just I just got more tools.
Okay.
So that kind of led me into just creating this agency of like, it's just not about paint or pencils. It's computers, electronics, furniture. There's so much design. Mm-hmm. That's where it started, really.
Okay, yeah. So you were expanding the mediums that you were using, right?
And that led to more ideas, more creating. So
awesome. So what were some of those important inspirations that you channel into your work? Do you have any?
I do. It's a lot of 90s nostalgic cartoons, animes, hip-hop, rap, graffiti. It's just in that era. It's really where I was born in 1990, so
Right.
I have there's so much in that era
Hmm.
that I think is coming back around.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I definitely see that with the Exit the Matrix. It gives me like Matrix, like the movie
Hmm.
vibes, which is like early 2000s, 90s styling. And even I've seen pictures of your studio, and there's like graffiti all over the walls,
Yes.
and it looks really cool. And I love that you can do that, by the way. That you have your own space that you can just put whatever you want on the walls. I bet that was really fun to do.
No, it's a blessing. I mean, I'm in shock sometimes. I'm like, oh, this is my studio. So
Did you have an environment as a child that allowed you to express that creativity, or did you have to kind of like learn the ways to express it?
no, I think I was just a natural. I do remember I was always my penmanship. I can write really good. My cursive, I always got compliments on that,
Oh,
and
really?
so I think I was just always inclined to be creative.
Hmm.
Um, so I had to learn, and I never gave up. But there's breaks in my life that I just stopped creating. Um, and just taking a break and then coming back. But it's always been there, and that's a secret. You got to keep that spark alive
How do you keep it alive?
by creating every day. You
Hmm.
just doing something different, talking to somebody different, engaging in something different, just something different.
Right.
Um, it doesn't have to be like a big difference, but sometimes switching up, like your beverage. You always get this, but no, today I'm gonna get this, and it
Okay.
starts like that, and you have to build up to it to where you're like, all right, let's just do everything different. Live a different lifestyle or create your own lifestyle.
Right. Doing those things that make you uncomfortable, kind of.
Yeah, because I've been doing a lot of uncomfortable things,
Hmm.
but it works because it's authentic,
Right.
but it's very tough.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, starting your own business. I know that the printing business probably brings you some steady income, right?
Yes.
But what can you do with clothes as a whole? Like, I know you do printing, you do embroidery. Do you upcycle, or what do you do with clothes?
So yeah, these pants I'm wearing are upcycled.
Okay.
We're really trying to go into that realm of just reusing things and bringing them back to life, to
Hmm.
one of a kind pieces.
Right.
Um, and so we're building a creative network at Vortex of seamstress, just fashion designers that could really tackle problems or
Hmm.
come up with solutions, to our clothes. And it's more of utility. Clothes should be they should be efficient. So I feel like there's so much more room in the clothing industry to kind of make a difference.
Okay. Efficiency. Um, what do you really mean by that? Like, in terms of like movement or more accessible?
Um, Movement, accessibility,
Mhm.
um, how thick it is, comfort, and just having pockets. Just for things you need, kind of like if you need it, it's better to have it than not
Right.
need it. But just little things like that, just extra pockets. Sometimes that's the detail that makes a difference. It could be used for something.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at your pants, and they have like painted eyes on them, right? Because I know
Yes.
they're on radio, so people can't really see what you're wearing. So can you
Yeah.
describe those pants for us really quick?
So they are plaid brown pants with screen printed eyes all over them.
Okay.
I don't know if that does any justice to it.
No, yeah, I mean it's really cool, and I mean, I love that you can take something that might have been thrifted or that somebody owned previously, and then completely turn it into something new. And definitely with Vortex, I see like a cyberpunk style, kind of like futuristic
Yes.
style,
I'm glad you see that. Yes.
right? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love that style, but I think it's important also to that message about upcycling and what are we going to do with our future kind of thing. It
Hmm.
has implications for that. Um, but I do like your focus on clothes, and but I wanted to ask, what is it about clothing that makes you want to explore new ideas?
So I guess this goes back to in the day, or back when you wear something nice, somebody gives you a compliment. And, it's always like sometimes you need that compliment, sometimes clothes get us those compliments.
Right.
To engage in conversation. And so that's really what fascinates me, making pieces that just question your reality. You're like, wait, I didn't know that was a color, or I didn't know that why didn't I think of that?
Right.
It's just those surprise elements that really fascinate me.
Mhm. I mean, I think definitely something about the nonverbal communication and these messages that you kind of are putting out there for people to see about yourself that you don't even have to say anything for, right?
Exactly.
Right. Okay, well, I want to talk about your creative studio. I know that artists are encouraged to collaborate with each other, and I mean, how exactly do you do that? Like, do you work together on one project, or how do y'all collaborate?
So right now it's we're still I'm still trying to structure, um, the business model, because it's really a lot of elements, but there is multiple projects going on at once. There's multiple groups,
Okay.
but we hope to make bigger groups and bigger projects. To get people involved. That's the mission, is to just get people involved.
I mean, I know you had a fashion show this year, right? That must have
Yes.
been exciting. Can you tell us a little bit about what the collection was like and what the process of creating a fashion show is?
Yes. So this was the Stress Kills fashion show. It's a concept. I mean, everybody knows now that stress kind of does kill.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an old concept that I had that I just decided to execute for like 4 years, after I thought about it. And so I got the help of Akira. She does Carson Fashion, and she really kind of guided. She was the project manager. She guided me the direction of everything. Social Rise, another friend, they help with the casting, and just a lot of other volunteers that kind of were just excited to do something different.
Oh, nice.
And so it was magic. Like the way things flowed, it wasn't the biggest production, but it was a great production, and I think everybody felt the magic because it was just a belief, and it was just like, oh, we're doing this, like, and it was like, well, we executed it, and it was really cool. So it was very humbling, and now I know I could do bigger productions, and I can manage and direct, or at least that's what I'm hoping for, to do.
And I mean, specifically about the clothes, were they clothes that you worked on yourself, or was that also a collaborative?
Yeah, it was a collaborative effort with Akira and myself.
Okay.
She did 8 pieces. I did 8 pieces, and then we did a collab of 8 pieces of our brands.
Wow.
If that makes sense.
All right. And how long did it take you to make all those clothes?
So we kind of rushed. We didn't plan accordingly. So it took a little bit over like 2 months.
Oh, wow. Okay. For 8 looks. Well,
no, it was.
Well, you had to make 8 looks, and then collaborative another 8, right?
And then 8. So I think it was
like 24 in total.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been tough to pull off in 2 months.
It was really tough, especially with everything else going on. It really made it harder.
Mm-hmm. And were those pieces that you showed on that fashion show, were they also pieces that you thrift yourself, or where do you source these clothes from?
So some of the pieces were upcycled,
Mm-hmm.
and then some pieces were actually structured together. It's brand new fabric.
Right.
Right now we're sourcing, I guess, upcycled shirts from. I don't know if you heard of Ninth Market.
I have not. No.
It's a local thrift market, and so they just donated bags, like 20 bags of just clothes, and we were just kind of like we had to do something. We had to make something out of it, and I didn't want it's just crazy. It was just so much, and I'm like, all this stuff is potentially going in the trash,
right?
If we don't do something or use it. And so I have a huge pile of clothes at the shop. Just if anybody wants, you can pick. You can decorate the pieces. keep it interactive.
Right.
You know.
And when people do want to go to your studio and create something, is there like a fee to collaborate? Do you just show up, or you have to purchase something from the store? How does that work?
So as of now, you can rent the space for $50 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have art clubs every Friday from 7 to 10.
Awesome.
And that's where I open up the studio to the public. We have music. It's BYOP. It's bring your own brain, is
nice.
what I say. And we just create. And that's really where the magic happens. Because it's a network opportunity. And I've seen so many collabs come together from these Friday nights.
Wow.
But during the week, it is private. We do have a retail shop, so you can go in there and buy merch. That helps support the art club.
Right. And what kind of things are available for people to use in the studio? I mean, like a sewing machine or yeah, what's available?
Yes, so we do have a sewing machine, a screen printing machine,
Okay.
embroidery machine, a 3D printing machine. Just paint, a lot of paint, canvases, and just a cool environment. That's it. We have all the tools you need.
Right. And I feel like everyone's just motivating each other to kind of push the envelope, see how far you can go.
And that's where it's really exciting, because somebody does something and it sparks somebody else, and it's like a domino effect.
Right.
You're like, what? That's crazy. And you witness it happen, and you're like, that's crazy. It wouldn't happen.
Yeah, and it inspires you to do something else. Right? Well, I wanted to talk about your rug making too. Can you explain what the process of making a rug is?
So the process, you have to build a frame,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to buy cloth
Right.
and kind of tack the cloth on the frame. If that makes sense. And then you project whatever you want on the cloth, and we have this tufting gun,
Oh, okay.
and then just thread it with some yarn and just puncture the cloth.
Yeah, because I mean, I do some rugs myself, but I don't
Okay.
have the gun, so I have to like do each
Oh,
one individually.
yes,
So I only do it for my friends, like
that's
birthdays
cool.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really fun, but it's time consuming, man. And
Yeah.
but I love doing it. It's even like a meditative state at
Yeah.
times. Like,
So therapeutic. You
uh-huh.
could just like zone in, and I really love it. Like, if I wasn't doing everything else, I would probably focus on rugs for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know?
But you got a lot of other stuff going on.
Yes.
I mean, I know you also have Vortex Records, and I know you have some videos on YouTube about that. What is your work in that? Do you produce the music? Do you produce the videos?
So I kind of I would say I'm more of a curator. I do work with a lot of local musicians, and it's a collaborative effort. So I just offer the space,
Okay.
offer the branding, and offer really the tools for an artist to develop. And that's what Vortex Records is trying to do. It's trying to develop artists. So we have one artist signed, the local artist.
Mhm.
It's only, it's just a testing period of see what we can do.
Right.
And we make a budget. We give them shirts. The whole branding. We basically do the branding and
Okay.
do our efforts to promote.
That's interesting. So it's like the background of the music industry kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Okay.
we're just prepping artists to be really leverage the creativity, because creativity is in demand nowadays, and you don't want anybody taking advantage of that. So you really want to develop them, and develop their branding and give them their identity so they can own it.
Right.
And that's the goal at Vortex Records.
Right, because I know a lot of musicians have been swindled through contracts,
Mhm.
and I can see that Vortex really cares about the artist, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I know you also have your own marketplaces, right? Is it important to you to help others and give other artists a platform?
Yes. That's been the mission. It's really helping others.
Yeah.
And I guess it's because when I was coming up, nobody would really lend a hand, or they would take advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And overpriced. They just, as a young creative, you don't know exactly all the details, and it doesn't cost a lot. Sometimes it's important for us to really help others create, and that's what we do by setting up the marketplace. We contact other local vendors, and we just showcase them. It's just a big marketplace party, and it's good vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love that. I mean, I love that Vortex itself has such a focus on collaboration, because I do think in the art world, it's kind of like whatever you can do, and it's praised if like one person does it by themselves.
mm-hmm.
But I love that y'all are working together to create something big. Where do you see Vortex Studios going in the future? I know it's in its very early stages right now, but what would success look like for Vortex?
I guess success would be consulting national companies, possibly even global companies,
Mm-hmm.
rebranding, doing fashion shows on a bigger stage, next to Pharrell, which that's my goal, to work with Pharrell, alongside Pharrell for Louis Vuitton.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody that's creative kind of has some wild dream, but it's practical nowadays. You just really have to put in the work.
Yeah.
And so I really see Vortex being a renowned studio, that like super cool stuff comes from this studio.
Yeah, and just like all around creative studio.
Yeah, we work with videographers. We have like a team of a network of everything, and and I think everybody's just ready to create something big that gets Bryan, College Station, more people come in. You need more experiencing this lifestyle.
I mean, I think a lot of people think about creating art, but I think you're really motivating people to do something about those ideas, to come in and make something in your studio. And I love that. So if people want to get involved, if they want to be a part of Vortex, where can they go to do that?
So you can follow us on Instagram, vrtx.shop. That helps a lot. Just spreading the news, keeping up to date with our events. But a big one is coming to our club, 7 to 10 every Friday. That's really where I see a lot of things happening just from those 3 hours. So if anybody wants to get involved, that's the 3 hours that really matter to get involved in. And it's a fast world, so it's all about executing fast, collaborating fast, and being efficient with those collabs, and making sure that everybody in the collab is winning, because it wouldn't make sense, if it's just a short-term goal. We want that long-term, to where we can build volume of projects and productions and keep all the creatives locally employed with these fun productions.
Right.
So that would be success, actually, to be able to fund a lot of productions and keep creatives employed and busy.
Right.
Most of all, busy and doing. You just can't think. The ideas are really nothing in the end. So, this year we're doing, and we're doing big things.
Yeah. I mean, I saw your article on the Battalion, so
Yeah.
that's how I was exposed to you. So you're definitely putting your name out there. And of course, you got to make money and have fun. Those are the two most important things, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, Vick Vortex, thank you so much for stopping by and talking to us about your studios. I wish you the best in the future.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, and I look forward to talking again.
All right, you guys, we will be going on a quick break, but do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
Support for KAMU is provided by the Academy for the Visual and Performing Arts, presenting an original site-specific performance by the duo Salyer and Shag, Andy and Kate's Garden Party. The Garden Party will invite participants to immerse themselves in altered environments and expand their perceptions of the situational ecological context in which they find themselves. Thursday, March 28th in the Leach Teaching Gardens on the Texas A&M University campus. More information at academyarts.tamu.edu.
Alrighty, now to close off the show, I wanted to revisit one of my interviews that I did 2 years ago, and that was with Shelby Lancaster. Since then, she has actually moved on to UNT and studied art there, and she's grown so much as an artist, so I encourage you to check her out on her Instagram, Private Canvas. I guess where I like to start off is people's backgrounds. So where are you from?
I'm from College Station. I'm
College
local.
Station?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that that has any effect on your art?
It probably does with me, like without me knowing that it does.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sure if I grew up in a big city, things would be different. So, and definitely I know like my upbringing and my surroundings growing up probably plays an effect on that.
Mm-hmm, yeah. I mean, we have some friends in common, so I know that you went to College Station High School, and they did tell me that your work was like constantly recognized. It was like on the walls.
It was, yeah.
Would you say that your art was kind of like polished in high school?
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like in high school, like art has always been a thing for me. And I mean, it was no different when I got to high school.
Right.
I can remember since like first grade, my stuff was being recognized or like somebody was doing something with it within the school at least. So high school, I don't know if it wasn't any different for me, but also I also didn't feel like I was anything special, you know, like because I'm a quiet person and I keep a close circle of people. And I didn't really have too many close friends in high school. It wasn't until afterwards. But I mean, some of the staff didn't even know who I was, and I was just really low key. But my art would be out there somehow, and people would know me for that.
I feel like your art is like much more loud than you.
It is,
Yeah.
which I don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious as to what you were doing in first grade. Hold up.
So, honestly, like the earliest memory of me doing anything artsy, I guess. I know like growing up, even before kindergarten, I would copy my mom because she would always doodle these little horses and stuff. That's all she would do, and so that's what I knew, so I would copy her. And then eventually I found out there was other things. But then I know in kindergarten, there was a moment where we were sitting down like on this long table, and there were students next to each other, and we were drawing something, I don't know. It was just like a drawing activity. And I remember the kid next to me asking me if I could draw this for them.
Oh, because they knew
that
you would do better.
But yeah, like even, it was either first or second grade, but they had the Christmas card competitions.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if it was a competition when you were that young, but they would choose like the best ones.
It low-key was a competition.
And then they chose mine. It was of some snowman, I don't know. It was for Christmas, and they like made copies of it, and they framed my thing and like gave it to me.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so I remember, like I have memories from as early as I can recall.
So your art, what would you say is your art style? Because like into surrealism maybe, or what would you identify it as?
Honestly, I don't think I've spent the time to even put a label on it.
Right.
And I don't know if I want to.
Ooh,
because I get like the past few years I've been trying to hone in on, okay, what am I really into doing and what I want to do more of? Because I know my favorite thing is portraits, whether it is realism, surrealism, whatever it comes out to be. I don't know if I don't always necessarily go into them like knowing what style I want this to be in, but I know it's going to come out looking like my work. It doesn't look like anyone else's.
I'm Hector Nino, and you've been listening to The Heart of Art, a production of 90.9 KAMU FM. You can find all of our shows anytime at kamu.tamu.edu.
The Heart of Art is brought to you by the Academy for the Visual and Performing Arts at Texas A&M University, bringing innovative and culturally diverse visual and performing arts programming to Texas A&M University and the Brazos Valley. The Academy for the Visual and Performing Arts fosters the creativity of our community via the transformative power of the arts. The Heart of Art is sponsored in part by the Texas A&M University Art Galleries, which includes the Stark and Forsyth Galleries located inside the MSC. The galleries provide a variety of opportunities to experience art exhibitions, events, and hands-on activities. More information at uart.tamu.edu.